Hello, and this is Private Practice for Monday, the 19th of February, 2018. It's been a really different Monday for me today, so I thought I would share with you the things and the tweaking and the agility and the needing to pivot and all of those fancy corporate words that we can use in the way we just need to go and change things because things need to change. So Mondays, I usually go to yoga of a morning and I start my work week at around midday on a Monday. It's always something I've wanted to do ever since I was self-employed, and that was to not work Mondays. And there was a big chunk of my life when I wasn't working Mondays, but then as my business has grown and my commitments to my team have grown, I have found my work week creeping into Mondays, and not only into Mondays, into my weekends. And for the past 4 weeks, I have had work-free weekends. And so today I chose to go to an information session on a new wellness centre that I've heard about. So the reason for this is my marketing focus is relationship building. I love building relationships with people where I can add value, where I can help. I don't sell stuff for the sake of selling stuff. That's why you don't see me selling $20 products or $17 products or $39 products. It's not the way I like to be. I learned that when I was trying to learn how to trade the US stock market. If people aren't involved and if I can't actually make a contribution, then I'm actually not a good fit. Funny that, which is why I gifted the US economy my life savings. But that's a story that you'll hear on numerous podcast interviews that I've done. So today I chose to travel from where I am in the Blue Mountains over to Mascot, which is a long way away. It was an hour and a half drive because I got stuck in traffic, because that's what's happening. But I got to participate in an information session with 6 other rehabilitation professionals. So a lady I met probably 4 years ago, she was working for a company, and she would send us work, and I really liked her approach. She's very scientific, but she's also very personable, and she likes the evidence base, but she also likes how we motivate and help people understand the good that we do in the world. And as her career has progressed, I've kept in touch with her, and I just really enjoy who she is. And she moved to another company that wasn't able to refer to us, and then she's recently moved into yet another company where referrals to us are awkward and difficult and not very plentiful, because it's just a different style of business, and that's okay. But she's included me in this group of people that she values, and she's organising for us to go and do site visits. How awesome is that? So I wanted to participate in this site visit today because it was a medical centre or a wellness centre for post-cancer survivors. Hurrah! I love working with post-cancer survivors, and we know that our fatigue management program here is an awesome tool for post-cancer survivors, particularly those people living with post-cancer fatigue. So I wanted to be a part of that and learn how I can contribute, and what else can we be doing to collaboratively pull together. But it was a long way to go, and I didn't want to waste the opportunity. So I put together some information about Purple Co, and I felt awkward about doing it because most health professionals do not like selling themselves, me included. But I have written a guide on my development as a rehabilitation professional called the Rehab Revolution, and I've also had a brochure made up on the fatigue management program. Now, up until last year, I had not spent a lot of money on marketing collateral at all. But it's become necessary because of the size of who we are, and because I'm now representing people other than myself. When it was just me, I didn't really mind, but now it bothers me because I want to represent my team as well as they represent me. So I took this information and I just wanted to be able to share it, but I did feel awkward, but it went over okay. And I was able to leave some of this information with the actual wellness centre. Because what was really cool is before we even got to this information centre, the medical director of the centre connected with me on LinkedIn. And we have a one-on-one call booked tomorrow to talk about how we might be able to work. However, she has already sent us clients. So if you don't think that relationship marketing works, you're wrong. Just putting it out there. But you've got to be invested, and you've got to understand it's a relationship, it's not a transaction. So that took up most of my morning, and an hour and a half drive in really heavy traffic there, participation in this group, being upbeat and being on and doing all that great stuff, and then coming home by the post office because I had stuff to post in the post office and cool stuff like getting fuel for the car because everyone likes to do that. So this afternoon I have been really focused on what's in my schedule. Didn't want to. I wanted to do flibbity-gibbet stuff, but I've been very, very focused on what's in my schedule. So I sent out a proposal for a new client, so that's potentially another new client into the business. I've still got 4 proposals outstanding. I have worked on our finances. I had a call with my accountant this morning because I had a question about what my bookkeeper was doing, but I got my finances under control, which today meant I had to review my PI and PL insurance. So public liability and professional indemnity. And it's now getting to the point from the start, the size of the business and the type of work that I'm doing, that this is not a cheap option. So I'm being very, very particular, and I have a great broker. So if anybody ever needs a business insurance broker, get in touch with me, because I am so impressed with this company and so impressed with Nancy that, I'll rave about them forever. They get the social justice component of why insurance needs to exist. Besides the point. You can imagine my absolute delight in getting my new premium for over $7,000. And you're all going, what? That's ridiculous. It's actually not, because the wholesale policies I've had for up until last year and for the 18 years beforehand just weren't adequately covering me. So once you start investigating what you really need and how to protect yourself, you end up having to pay for it. However, that $7,000 is insurance against a $20 million lawsuit. So when you look at your return on investment or managing risk, I'm like, yeah, that's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to find that $7,500. However, I don't want to have to find $20 million. It's just the way it is. I just don't. So today I have been a grown-up in my business. I've done the stuff that needed to be done. I've gone and done some marketing, and I got uncomfortable around that. I've read insurance policies, which was terribly uncomfortable. And I spoke to my accountant about my bookkeeper, which at times I think that they speak a language that is not English. But anyway, I made sure I understood so that I can be instructing and delegating and making sure that the financial operations of my business are working really well. So, what else? I set up the 5 Favorite People Facebook group today because, woohoo, we are starting this week. We are starting. So that was fun. So I've got some stuff happening in there, and I've got people connecting in the group. So that's going to be hard for me to switch off and not want to play in there a lot. So that has been my Monday. Been a big business operational management leadership kind of a day. They're important. They're really important. And they're necessary. And I got to have this great conversation with one of my clinicians who is a really, really cluey guy. And he read through a referral that had been sent to us, and he picked up on some wording in the referral that made us both go, we better make sure we know what we're doing here, especially in a medico-legal context. So Ross, well done you for picking that up and bringing that to my attention. And well done us for problem solving it. We have a great team here. I love my team. It's really cool. So it's after 5 o'clock on a Monday. I still have a few things I'd like to get done today, but I am starting to feel the weariness of the day creeping in. So what has your Monday been like? What have you been up to? How are you being the grown-up, the leader, the visionary in your business this week? Looking forward to talking to you again. This is Jo, and this is Private Practice.